In this recording, we're going to talk about how to generate the site plan. This is a very basic part of the site plan. We're going to talk about how to make some adjustments on property lines. Think of InQI as your co-pilot. Type in an address, and you get every piece of information about that property in one place. And when you have it, you can do all the adjustments that you want. You can change things around. You can move things around. You can create a site plan within minutes. Or actually, if you don't want to change anything, within seconds. But let's go through it and take a look at how it's going to work. Some of the basic areas where things are at are going to be discussed at this point, and then we're going to go from there, right? All right, so let's go to log into InQI. You log in with your Google account or an email account. As you log in with your email account, you're going to find out, you're going to come to the portal itself. We talked about this. This is where everything happens. It's a web-based application that runs on Chrome. On a PC is the best view that you're going to get, or a Mac, doesn't matter, on a larger screen, right? Now, I'm going to go in, and everything starts with an address. So I'm going to type in an address. It's an address in Los Altos, and just pick some address. As you click on address, it zooms into that address and says, is this your address? Because once you confirm it, basically at that point, the credit is taken out. Now, InQI is for free right now. Everybody who signs up get 5 credits for free. But have in mind, everything is, the credit is going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and say, create the project. It's going to go in, and it's going to start creating, and it's going to start getting information. In a second, I'm trying to finish this discussion. It is done. There it goes. Create your project code, right? So if I click on this project, what does it collect? It now has everything you need to know about that given property, right? Let's talk about what is what you're looking at. You see a bigger image that is of lesser quality. That's the satellite picture, right? You see a zoom section. It's a little box here, that is a higher quality. This is an aerial image. An aerial image that was taken by an aircraft, right? We do, in this Bay Area, we basically do about 4 times a year. So a lot of good information is available. The latest and the greatest, from top down, we know it, right? Now, what are we looking at on the screen? Let's talk about it. So this is all your menu, the shortcuts to various areas. We're going to talk about a little bit. Because everyone right now in the Designer Edition, these are available to them as well. On this little gear here, you have the ability to do some configuration for this project. So remember we said that we have these pictures on top, the aerial pictures. So this was taken in September, the 2nd of September of 2024. We have a lot more information about it too. What can this be used for? You might want to go to a property and see the historical. Like what happened last year? Was this tree over here or was not? Those sort of things. You can have that access as well. Elevation lines. So you can see there's little dotted lines on the screen. So we have the topography of this property. So it's there. So you have not only the measurements and everything, but you have the topography as well. Hide elements outside of parcel. So this is the property line. So if you want to hide the elements outside, you click on that. And you have the pin. The pin is this one, so it stays on the screen. And show object ID, and we'll talk about that as well, right? So if I say show object ID, it will basically become and start showing various IDs on the screen. Now, you have the ability to look at objects that are selected. Nothing's selected yet. We're talking about the menus. You have the setbacks. The standard setback in our area, in Northern California, is 5 feet. So this is the red dotted line. That's the 5 feet. The white is the property line. You have some options to create custom setbacks. So if you go to a property, it happens here often, maybe it's a corner lot, like this seems to be a corner lot. There are some setbacks from both the front and the side. There is, in a larger lot, there is setbacks. There is from power lines. So you define the setbacks, so it becomes part of your site plan. So this is part of it that you have here. Exports, we're going to have a session about it, but you can export this thing and everything about it in PDF, in SVG, and you can generate a CAD file within seconds about this property, and a bunch of other things. There's going to be a session about it. And there is a planting plan that you can put in. We're going to have a session about it as well. We're going to talk about the basics today. Now, you have the ability to do undo and save and so forth. I have a habit of clicking on save as many times as I can. It's just a habit that I have. You should too, in my opinion. You can take a snapshot of the screen and save it if you want to. There is a Zen mode. If I put it in the Zen mode, you can see better all the little topography lines and so forth. Now it's a pretty flat lot, but this is the Zen mode here. The ability to get reset the view, bring it into the focus, zoom in, zoom out. Also various measurement tools are here as well. Everything with InQI, it is scaled, right? It is scaled. So when you change things around, it is very accurate. Now let's talk about accuracy. One of the critical parts is how do you know this property line is correct? So this is in Los Altos. If I go to the city of Los Altos today and give this property address to them and say, I want to see what the property line is and so forth, they're going to bring this up on their screen, right? So we have exact same information that the city has, that the county has. That information enables us to do a lot more better work, a lot more focused work. Now, we all know that there is a likelihood that that information is not accurate. This is just part of the game. It could be that information is not accurate. So how do we make sure that information is accurate? So what we do is we can zoom in. Remember that we are looking from the top down, right? We are looking from the top down. We are looking at the pictures here. Now, what that top down does is gives us the ability to look for things on the screen that tells us, as if we were on the job site, tells us that this is the property line. The first thing in most of the properties in the country is the fence. I can look here. I can see there is a fence line here, right? There's also a fence here. I can click on it, and I can make the adjustments to the fence line. Right? So I've made the alignment, right? And I click on save, and everything gets adjusted. This 5-foot setback gets adjusted and so forth. Now, in some places, it's not as useful in California because most of the time you're green, right? Tree lines, right? Now, if you were not sure about this, there's some tree lines and so forth, you can go to this picture. You can go and let's go to February of this year, right? See if you change the time. Let's see if we find something different. Oh yeah, it looks like we were right. We were kind of right on the lines here. There is a little bit of line here. It looks like this is a fence line. Right here, right? There's a little bit of difference here, right? So let's go make an adjustment. But have in mind, we make the adjustments off of the latest picture. So I'm going to go back and I see that there is a little bit of a line here. There's like a fence line that comes in here. But remember, we said this is a corner property. So that's probably not the property line. There's some easements, but let's say we want to make adjustments. Go back to the current one. And on the adjustments, we see it here, some of it was not. Now, if you click once, the entire project is selected, right? This whole thing is coming to the entire project is selected. If you click twice, the section is selected. Now I can change that and bring that section down. And this one also is down and much bigger, right? Now, there is a lot more into it. There are distinct film layers. And we're going to have discussion about some of them, so with more details, but layers are hidden here. These are the layers, right? These are the part. And a lot of it is tied into an artificial intelligence processing that identifies items on the ground. We'll talk about layers in another session. I'm not going to go into it, but we are what you see, what you get. So if you see the screen and you have put objects on the screen, if you export this out, right? If I go and click on this, and for example, on this one, I put in main house. Right? So now, as I see this, and I can export this out, I will then have the ability to basically go to export and request a PDF or DXF and so forth, right? Now, when I click on request and export, it basically goes out and generates an output for me, right? That generated output is basically now a site plan. It does in a few seconds. Is what I see on the screen is in that PDF, right? Now, when I open this PDF, there was one thing that I want to show you, right? Remember, in one of the sessions, we customized our logo. And when I went here, I didn't select this. So I haven't, this is not a customized one, but we're going to generate another one, the customized one too. So let's go download this and let's go take a look at it. In this one, you will see that what you see is what you get, right? What we're looking at, let's go back here. We're looking at this screen, and what are we looking at? We're looking at a PDF that's basically moving to the side so I can zoom out. It's a site plan, has directions, has scale, has all the parameters of site plan. You can take this, go to the studio and say, this is my site plan, and when they bring it up in their screen, it looks pretty much the same. We might have made some adjustments, but it looks pretty much the same. Now let's go back and take a look at what happens if we customize it, right? Remember we talked about customizing it to our needs. I'm going to ask it for including my brand, what I customize. And when I go to create an export, I'm going to request another export. You can request as many exports as you like. Do 20, doesn't matter. It's generating those exports for you as you go out. The good thing about the one thing that I request you consider doing is, as you get these outputs, download them, put them in the file. Create a folder for this address, put them in the file, so you have access to it. So let's go take a look at this one. And on this one, we're going to open it up, and same plan, but see, my information now is on there, right? So it has the information on there, is now branded to mine. So these are the basics. What you see, what you get. Don't forget that. What you see is what you get. If you see it on the screen, when you create an output, it comes out as an output, right? Now, in the layer section and other different feature section, you're going to find out more about how all this stuff works. And let's go to the next session after this one.